All right, so we're back with our gorgeous Sam. This is the fourth step. So we're now on to the heart chakra with the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy coaching program. And as you've been getting to know Sam, you know, she's one of our master spiritual life coaches and energy psychologists. So she's used to the work that we do here. And we're on to the heart chakra now. So we're going to recap over the last session, and then we're going to get into the heart chakra. So with every chakra session, we have a workbook that we give to the client. They fill it out in their own time. It can be very cathartic and bring up a lot of stuff. And then every chakra we've been through is painting a picture. And I have my own mental and written notes about what picture that's creating for Sam. And the picture comes from the subconscious. So it comes from the early imprinting, from the root, all the beliefs and the imprinting that occurs there can happen in utero, filters up all the way through the body and plays out at different levels, different scenarios based on the chakra theme. So root is all about foundations and security, belonging, our family, sacral, intimacy, creativity, relationships, my self-worth, how you see me as a reflection of myself. Solar plexus is how we go out into the world, our motivation, our power, confidence, success, self-esteem. And now we're onto the heart, which is a very, very interesting place to be, because it is the gateway from the spiritual to the physical. So before we get into it, we're going to recap. Sam, you've had some interesting things. Last session was a very interesting session.
Yeah, it was a very interesting session. For the first time in all of this work, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it, didn't get it, didn't resonate anywhere. Yeah, and that was frustrating in itself, because I think I'm so aware and so wanting to go there and enjoy the process of the visualizations and the transformations. And I just, came away feeling like meh, like, and I sat with it for that day, that evening. And I said I was going to go and do it in the bath, redo the visualizations, because I just couldn't see the magician. I couldn't see, was it a he, was it a she? What were they wearing? What did they look like? What were they giving me? There was just, it was like seeing it through a fuzzy TV. There was no clarity. So normally when I'm in the bath of an evening with my oils and stuff, it kind of happens, but it still didn't. And then I took myself to bed. I was absolutely shattered, took myself to bed really early, read a book, and then switched off my brain, put some relaxing music on. And that's when it happened. That's when the release happened. And I think from the last session, the one thing that came up was like aggression, anger.
Yeah.
And I was feeling exceptionally angry, and you got aggression. And it was almost as if that anger was the barrier. That was the barrier to me being open to seeing, feeling, experiencing what the magician had to offer. And then it came, and I literally, it was instant. It came, it hit, I released in tears, floods of tears for like 5 minutes, sobbing my heart out. And then it was a totally different feeling. Just like it, just everything, all of that anger that I was holding just went. Yeah. But I think the lesson from that session for me was, it's okay. Again, it's not the transformation doesn't happen here and now. No. It happens in the time after. Yeah. And that is a prime example of that. Like, and you have to be ready to do it. You have to be open to do it. And there's a difference between being open to doing it and allowing it to come. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's been the biggest shift, the biggest shift, like
Tell
massive.
me about that. So just for this, everybody watching, so I have created this 7 steps to spiritual alchemy method. I have got a book coming out soon, little plug, Alchemy for the Soul, and it takes you through each chakra archetype. So what we're playing with here is energy archetypes, because there are hundreds of these archetypes, and we've all, you know, we in this way, a bit like Carl Jung, we're seeing life as a movie, and we're all characters in a play. And based on certain situations, we'll embody a certain character or an archetype. So the archetype is an energy embodiment. So we can choose consciously to be who we want to be by embodying certain energies and archetypes, or bringing them in to help us in our minds, you know, and in our energy field. So each chakra holds a power archetype, an archetypal energy that you can call in and use in your life as your spiritual team to help you go forward in the best way you want. So we worked with the magician last week. I also have a system called Chakra Alchemy, which is a dowsing system where I use the pendulum. And we look at what core beliefs and emotions are stored there. So anger was there, and it was attached to relationships and things like this. Self-worth, I think, came up. I can't remember now. But anyway, that was what was in your field. And there was a resistance on the day to letting go. I think you might have had an upset with hubby, and you were in that mode. Well, why should I always be the one that has to can sort things out? Because you're busy trying to create your business and work on yourself and work on relationships as well. So there's a lot going on for you. I think you felt like you were having to be in control all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Sam, obviously, we speak in between sessions, and you know, we decided to just go with the process. This is about Sam, and when she's ready, and when she's not. And she stayed with the process, which means you're 100% committed, and you allowed in the energy archetype when it felt right for you, and that was the release of the anger. And then how did it feel to have that energy present with the magician?
It was, this sounds really corny, but it was pure love.
Yeah, good.
It was pure love. That's the only way I can describe it. It was warming, it was comforting, it was holding, it just felt beautiful. Like I cannot tell you the difference that release brought. I can't put it into words. It was just, yeah. And like I say, the biggest shift for me has been there, which is an eye-opener in itself.
Isn't it just?
Yeah.
It's amazing. What's it done for you since then? How has it helped you?
The anger is not there. The anger is not there. There's more of an acceptance level of accept what you can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that temptation to run away with stuff and be everything to all people, yourself, the house, the business, the relationship. And that pressure, I think, that was building within that led to the anger is not there. That's just how it's affected this week. It's just been, yeah.
So how have you used your power? So the magician is all about power. It's bringing in, you know, the spiritual power and manifesting it on the physical plane. And we can do it in different ways. You know, we can use it for not so great ways, but because it's our power that you're working with, and you can choose to direct that power wherever you want. How have you, or maybe you haven't, but how have you experienced the power of the magician in your life since the last session? Has it helped you achieve anything? Has it helped you create? Has it helped you? I know possibly it's helped you change the dynamics in your relationship, maybe, but what, in your words, has it done?
Definitely in terms of the relationship, there's not that fight between anymore. But also it's given me back the power, rather than I'm driving from a place of anger and frustration. I'm driving from a place of power.
Right.
Like the decisions that I make are made from me, from that place of power.
That's so cool. How does that feel?
It feels amazing because it's such a different energy to that anger and frustration led decision making, or where you feel you are sacrificing yourself in that moment, in that energy, versus being your own magician of where you want to go and what you want to do and what decisions you make.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, that's an amazing place to be. And the reason for us doing these sessions together, where you were at a point where a situation in your life, you know, with relationships, you were like at a bit of a tipping point in a way. And I said, look, why don't you try the 7 steps method with me? And it's so nice to hear you say that it is having a knock-on effect with your relationship.
Yeah, not just with others, with myself. Like it brings it back to you. Like maybe before I started doing this process, the 7 steps, perhaps it was more about other people's choices, other people's decisions.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in that. I wasn't part of that process. It
Yeah.
was like it was almost taken out of my hands. Whereas this process has enabled me to put myself back in that decision-making process.
Good, good. Okay, that sounds really powerful. In last session, we looked at a scenario in your life, an experience in your life, which had, which you know you believe to be the catalyst for a lot of imbalance where power was concerned in your life, and we looked at how much that was still part of it. I think 30% was still with that
Yeah,
relationship, the power. Do you feel, I mean, on that scale, where do you feel you've reclaimed all that now?
yeah, totally.
Control of your life.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So today's session is going to be very interesting because I am going to throw some things back at you to help you realize a few things, to help you move forward with the stuff that you wanted to create.
Yeah.
But before we do it, we're going to go through the meditation.
Yeah.
So, gal, get yourself in your comfort zone. And as you know, because you're used to this now, just start to take the nice, slow, deep breaths that calm the body down. Taking any attention that's outside of you inside now. Okay, so make yourself as comfortable as possible. Allow yourself to close your eyes and take your attention within. Taking nice deep breaths. Breathing into the heart. So the heart space becomes expansive and full of wonderful light. Allowing your body to become filled with the light. And as you become embraced by the light, you feel safe, supported, and nurtured by this spiritual light. Just allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into this wonderful feeling within. Now visualize a green or pink healing light sparkling or fizzing in your heart center.
Feel it radiating its light like a storm through the layers of your heart, going down deep to that which is nameless and eternal within you. Feel it draw this essence out from you, feeling your heart as it travels back out, energy expanding. See this deeply healing, expansive light travel up to the mind as your mind absorbs it. One of the most beautiful aspects of spiritual awakening is the discovery of one's own power. In each moment, we have a choice. We can choose to live differently by releasing what no longer serves us. When we release certain fears, beliefs, or negative behaviors, we create space for more joy, positivity, flow, and abundance to come in as its replacement. So take this opportunity to bring to mind all the limiting beliefs, negative feelings, insecurities, fears and blocks that no longer serve you and are blocking your spiritual flow. And then imagine them sparkling away, just like a sparkler. Its light diminishes, and as this light diminishes, so do your fears and blocks, and negative emotions. And in its replacement, a wonderful light appears and starts to fizz and sparkle again. This represents all the wonderful experiences, feelings, and opportunities that you're going to create. Feel them fizzing and sparkling in the heart with joy and love. And imagine a beautiful spiral of pink or green light filling your heart center as you repeat the following mantra to yourself. Today I am ready for change. Today I am ready to let go. Today I am ready to trust, to see clearly, to love unconditionally, to walk my authentic path with the truth of who I am. And just taking some nice, slow, deep breaths, allowing that energy to penetrate from your head to the tips of your toes. And in a moment, I will count you back from 3 to 1, where you will open your eyes and feel wide awake. So 3, starting to feel your back against the place where you're resting. 2, wiggling your fingers and toes. And 1, opening your eyes, feeling refreshed and wide awake.
How was that? What came up for you?
Nice.
Yeah, good.
Really nice.
Good. Anything come up for you? Even insignificant stuff.
Flowers. Flowers and meadows.
Oh, nice.
I don't know whether it's because of the green, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of feelings, there was definitely around something around belief, around, don't know whether it's confidence or belief, I don't know, but something around, but not, I always say this, it wasn't strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a nice, like I say, flowers, meadows. Don't know if it's because of the person cutting their grass outside led me that way.
Yeah. Well, what came up with the Chakra Alchemy when I doused, there was stuff there around belonging, wholeness, unworthiness, worthlessness, related to partners, blocking higher self, playing out 60% in your life right now. And just noticing on your feed, on your workbook, the chakra workbook,
Yeah.
how you're relating stuff to letting go and being vulnerable and open yourself up, releasing the fear. So a bit like you said, the beliefs around the self-confidence. So you're really tying this into your work situation right now, because this is what happens when you're creating this soul-led business and it's you behind it.
Yeah.
All of the stuff you're carrying around confidence and self-belief and being worthy, and it all comes to the forefront, and it really can block, you know, your creativity. It's interesting it's blocking the higher self, because the heart really is the one of, you know, the main gateway, as well as the other chakras, but the main opening gateway for your connection in the physical body to the higher self. And on your feedback form, you're saying, you know, if you could just fully let go, be vulnerable, let go of all the fear, like just go for it in the business. So tell me how you see the two connected.
It's more around just, I always believe that a little bit of fear is good, because I think it's a driver, and you grow from that place. The difference is allowing that fear to keep you stuck. And so by fully letting go, it's almost like recognizing the feelings but still doing it anyway, because you don't want to allow that to keep you stuck where you are, because you're not going to move forward from that place.
No. So you know that.
Yeah.
You know that. So why are you, not where, because you can give me a list of business things that you might, but why are you holding yourself back?
I think it comes back to that self-belief, that the self-belief, confidence, it feels like it's a bit of a circle, like it's just a running circle.
Yeah. So it starts with, what does it start with? A thought? What's the thought?
The thought is, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
So there's the unworthiness.
Yeah.
Okay. And then It cycles. And tell me about the cycle. I mean, do you just get stuck in the unworthiness trap, or?
No. Definitely, probably would have done before,
Yeah.
but definitely not now.
Yeah.
It's like that. I'm aware that it's there, but I can still appreciate that it is there and it is having an impact and it is restrictive, but that I am aware of it. If I could just move past it a bit more, then there's that openness for growth. You know I'm pushing.
Okay, so let me just throw this back. On your form, you said, what past hurts or grudges are you holding on to that weigh heavy on your heart? You said none. I want you to really tune in to this and everything that you're saying and everything that we've talked about in previous sessions. Where it's coming through is the unworthiness. What are you holding on to?
I don't see it as the same thing, though. I don't see it that it's a grudge.
Oh, no. Okay, so forget the word grudge, but what past hurt?
It's probably where that that life experience that we explored in the last session.
Yeah.
It's probably from that place, but I really, like, you asked me if that 30% is still there, and I really don't believe it is. I really don't believe it is, but that is probably where that is coming from.
Okay, so probably if there's an element of doubt and we were to take it back further, where would it go? Where would it stem right back to if it had roots?
Yeah.
Where would it stem right back to?
Well, probably that first building block of belief.
So the said person?
Yes.
Yeah. That we said we'd use as a code.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I agree. One builds upon the other.
Yeah.
Because what's come up in the heart is belonging, wholeness. That doesn't happen in your 20s, 30s. But it is related to partnership. So I want you to know that every time it's pretty much said it's a partnership thing. So you're connecting it to that.
Yeah.
You're thinking possibly about the past and you're putting the two together. But it's one domino, then the next domino, one life event, and then it's in our system or next big life event, so it's for me it's like a bit of a Jenga thing, but you know where I'm coming from, don't you? So okay, so for you now to move forward, because we always say it in like metaphor and symbolic language, if we were to move past, but we don't really know what that means, do we? It's like, well, you don't have to move past anything. You're not going anywhere. It's all in here, isn't it? So there's a thing that you feel stuck on, and that's unworthiness. And that's taking shape in your business, in the fact that what would you be doing if this were not there at all?
If the unworthiness wasn't there.
Yeah. How would you know when it's gone? When it's not there, you're going to be doing what?
I think for me, nothing. I would still be doing what I was doing. Like, there wouldn't be a change in, although I felt like I needed to make a change and there was a catalyst for that change. There wouldn't be that change without this feeling, or with this feeling, should I say.
So when you say about feeling a bit stuck, there's a fear, there's a vulnerability, you just want to go fully all in with your business. It sounds like the brakes are on because there's just this unworthy cycle trap that goes round. If that weren't there, how would you know it wasn't there? What would you be doing differently in your business, let's say, that you're not doing now? Or would it just be a feeling that would change?
I think I'm conscious that I am aware of it, and I'm not allowing it to dictate the decisions I make. It's just the awareness is there. I think if it wasn't there, there probably wouldn't be this conflict between continually pushing and knowing it's there but keep going anyway versus just going. You know, there's that feeling of resistance almost, that I know it's there. I'm not allowing it to dictate my decisions because I want to move forwards, and I will move forwards, and I am moving forwards. But equally, if it wasn't there, then moving forwards would be a hell of a lot easier.
Yes. Okay. So so what I've written here is pushing versus flowing.
Yeah. Good analogy.
Yeah. So if you were flowing,
Yeah.
how would it be in your business right now? Because you've probably got a scenario where you know it's active, where you're aware of the pushing because you know it's there. So taking a scenario that you might have now, or you just know has just happened or whatever, or something you want to do, if you were to go into flowing, what would that scenario look like? How would it end?
If I was just flowing, it would look the word that came up was enjoyable, but it's not that I'm not enjoying it, because I am. I think the difference would be the focus on the outcome would be removed.
Yeah.
Because you're in the process of doing and flowing for the sake of doing and flowing versus for the sake of an outcome.
So let me just see if we can reframe that, because you know what you want the outcome to be. You have to have an outcome.
Yeah.
To get to the end point. How could you reframe that instead of so there's something around the outcome that is feeling like pushing.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
But it's not the outcome, it's the expectation of yourself about what the outcome needs to look like. So what's
absolutely. That? 100%. It is that expectation of it all being perfect.
Okay, so the expectation is it has to be perfect.
Yeah, that's the outcome versus just being in flow.
How will you know if it's perfect or not? Because you know quite often perfectionism is a never-ending, perpetuating cycle of just changing.
Okay, how will I know if it's perfect? I will never know if it's perfect, is the honest answer. I will never. Will I ever be truly happy with the end result? No. I will always continually want to improve, tweak, add, develop, grow.
What's coming through is a pusher will always push to be perfect.
Yeah.
Somebody who's in flow will always
just enjoy the process.
Yeah. A pusher pushes to be perfect. A flower a flower flows to what? Enjoy the process.
Yeah. A flower.
That's what you said you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. When you asked me how will I know it would be perfect, I immediately went, but I immediately stopped because of the awareness. I immediately went because of the feedback that I'll get.
Yeah.
Like the external validation will prove to me that it's perfect. Mm-hmm. But I stopped. That's why I laughed, because that is not perfection, because there will always be things that carry on growing, developing, as we learn to grow, develop, and we change as people, so will our business change as it looks.
How has life felt so far, having a belief of being unworthy, having experiences that might want to solidify your belief that you're unworthy, and a constant cyclical belief pattern of trying to people please, fear of vulnerability, what do they want from me, you know, but always trying to make other people happy and go in a space where you feel really wanted and needed. How has that kind of pusher energy that's fueled by trying to fulfill a need of being wanted, so feels unworthy, how is that energy
Anxious?
Yeah.
The constant, like that fight or flight response, constant on edge, constant sitting on the edge of the cliff, constantly anxious.
Okay, do you want to carry that into your business?
No, absolutely not.
Because if you do, that's going to be the energy of it, and that will be there for as long as you maintain that belief system within yourself. So the answer to the question on the form was, what past hurts and grudges are you holding on to? Your instant answer was no.
Yeah.
And that might well be true. We know that there are experiences that you've had, and if we were to, you know, go back on timelines, we can say, well, yeah, actually it could stem from that. But now it could just be a case of choosing.
Yes. And I think that is the difference. The awareness is there. Like, it is like you've got those two little people on your shoulders, and it's just, you have a choice which one you give the voice to now. You're aware the other one's there, but you just choose to turn down that volume. You don't need them. You choose not to listen. You choose not to give that one the space and time, and tuning into the one that gives you that flow, gives you the other way.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. So what we're going to do now, so the archetype of the heart, the heart chakra, is the healer archetype. So this archetype of the heart is all about unconditional love, you know, and that was one of the things you also put on your workbook, is like turning that energy of unconditional love onto the self.
Yeah.
So from going from a pusher to somebody who's in flow, you know, the person who's in flow is generally self-directed, not externally directed. It's self-directed, self-validating, taps into their creativity, which is normally an opening to spiritual source, the higher self, etc., and just downloads that without them even knowing that they're doing it. They're just in that zone. It's a different frequency to being in the pusher zone. So we're going to do an exercise with the heart, and we are going to tune into the healer archetype, and the healer archetype is going to bring us the gift of transmuting one energy to the other. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So however it shows up and whatever energy it decides to transmute from to will be known to you during the session. So just get yourself into a nice comfortable space.
I've already closed my eyes.
Good. Okay. So this is the love consciousness. It's the energy of unconditional love. It's going to transform blocked chakra energy that manifests life patterns of control, conditions and expectations, disappointments, grief, which I know you've experienced, loss and lack of trust. Now the power archetype, there are two. You can choose the nurturer or the healer. And it's the ability to transmute any negativity into loving light. Healers recognize that their own pain will ultimately be transformative. In this sense, they use their challenges to understand the sufferings of others and can be compassionate in their tasks towards themselves and others. By calling upon this archetype, you can see the true beauty and spiritual essence of everyone and every situation. Okay. So What we're going to do is we're going to take your attention to your feet. Just notice any sensations in the soles of your feet. And just imagine, Sam, in the middle of your feet now, two beautiful roots take hold into the earth, penetrating the earth's crust, going way, 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 way down into the middle of the earth, and wrapping their roots right around the crystalline core that lives in the center of Mother Gaia. And just feel the power, the nurture, the love, the light that shoots all the way up your feet, all the way up your legs, into your pelvis, activating your core, activating your root, opening the root chakra. Imagine a red lotus flower blooming. Feeling the energy of the root archetypes, the Emperor and the Empress, your spiritual father and mother. Feel them surround you. And then taking a nice deep breath in, just breathe that energy up from the root chakra into the sacral below the belly. Just noticing a beautiful warm sensation on a lotus flower opening with the most beautiful orange color. And as that chakra opens front and at the back, you bring in the archetype of the High Priestess. Her wisdom, her intuitiveness, her grace. She stands next to the Emperor and the Empress. Taking another nice deep breath in, breathe that beautiful light up into the solar plexus above the navel. As that lotus flower opens and blossoms in the most beautiful yellow. And just notice you feel the energy of the magician archetype surrounding you, joining forces with all your other spiritual guides. His power, his creativity, his knowingness. And just take another nice deep breath in as all that energy now filters up into the heart space and opens the heart chakra. And the most beautiful pink or green lotus blossom now comes into full bloom. Every petal expands and bursts open with this magnificent light. And this light just forms a beautiful bubble all the way around your auric field, that layer of energy that surrounds and supports your body from head to toe, front and back. Now I just want you to imagine that you're sat in front of a beautiful mirror. Just notice the shape of the mirror. Is it floor length? Is it mounted on the wall? What is the texture of the frame? What color is this mirror? There's nothing to fear. All your team are around you, supporting you. Just want you to move closer to this mirror so you can see yourself. You can also see behind you. And I want you to look into this mirror now. And I want you to see behind you the most beautiful spirit guide that's connected to your heart chakra. And as this beautiful spirit guide, maybe it's the nurturer or the healer, places a loving hand on your shoulder, you just notice your reflection in the mirror. And just feel the energy start to build in that heart chakra. And as this energy builds, it stirs up inside you a feeling that you may have never felt before, of unconditional love. This goes way beyond our physical experience. This really is a deep, personal, spiritual experience. And as this energy builds, I just want you to notice in your auric field, which is the layer that surrounds your body, I want you to notice any areas of discoloration or discord that may contain symbols or breaks or imprints of partnerships, of childhood experiences that have resulted in an imprinting or programming of unworthiness. And with your spiritual archetype, I want you to breathe in and breathe out spiritual light that dissolves any imprinting, so your auric field is just glowing with this pure spiritual loving light. Keep breathing and watching that auric field so it's pure, it's whole, and it's bringing you this feeling of complete belonging, of complete wholeness. This is on a spiritual level. And now, with that feeling, cast your mind out into the future. It could be tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And see yourself and what you've been able to create and manifest with all your spirit team guiding you. Just see yourself and what you've achieved. And now, Sam, just breathe in and imagine the color violet just spreading over your whole body. This is the desire to connect to larger spiritual wisdom and truth, to learn the truths of the universe. And as you do this, raise your vibration to a frequency of joy. Start to feel joy start to bubble and stir and get bigger and bigger and bigger within the body. And now just say these words after me. We're going to do an invocation to Mercury. So this is the planet of communication. So Mercury, please balance my energies.
Please balance my energies.
So that I may communicate clearly.
So that I may communicate clearly.
With honesty.
With honesty.
Trust.
Trust.
Integrity.
Integrity.
And with insight and clarity of mind.
And with insight and clarity of mind.
Allow me to speak and live my truth.
Allow me to speak and live my truth.
About what is most important to me.
About what is most important to me.
Aligning me to my highest truths and inner wisdom.
Aligning me to my highest truths and my inner wisdom.
And just take a nice breath in, just really feeling that beautiful violet light with that feeling of joy, just really soaking that in. And then ask your spirit team just to stand all around you. They're making a beautiful circle around you. They're just going to fade away now into the background, but they're still there. And I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. So 3, just starting to feel your feet against the floor. 2, just starting to feel your back against the chair. And 1, you can just open your eyes when you're ready, coming back to conscious awareness. How was that for you?
No, it was lovely. You know what I really enjoy is when we build.
Yeah, have them near.
All near, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, the more that join, the better it gets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How was that technique with the mirror?
Yeah, no, it was fine. It's funny when you said towards the end, I think with the green, it was they already formed a circle around me. So when you said towards the end they were round, I was like, they were already doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, no, it was nice to be able to see the reflection behind me. Yeah.
How was that? What did you notice about your heart archetype? Was it healer, nurturer, something else?
It was a healer, which I thought I would go for the nurturer naturally.
Yeah, yeah. I wondered.
Yeah, I chose the healer.
What did he, she look like? Or maybe, no non-gender, but
it was an old man.
Yeah.
With a really long beard. A bit like Gandalf.
Yeah, really good archetype. Yeah, I love it.
But again, just had that healing energy, that I don't know, that reassurance that it came with. It wasn't, I want to say it wasn't love, because it wasn't love, but whatever it came with love.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you saw yourself in the future, how did that look?
Funnily enough, it wasn't in my business.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it wasn't in my, and that was like, oh, where's that gone then? But I had a feeling that what was going on for me in my future self personally was only good for where I was in my business. Like, this is the bit that needs to happen to enable the rest to flow.
Mm-hmm. What were you doing in your personal life?
There was just more balance. There was time and there was balance. Laughter.
Good.
no pressure, no expectations. It was all just very flowy, very relaxed.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting that we had that invocation to Mercury, because actually Mercury rules communication, so really it rules the throat. But you know, this has come through for you for the heart. So this is telling me this is about how you communicate, how you deliver your message in every aspect of your life. And I know you've already been, you're building on that with your relationships and how that communication is going, and that seems to be working really well. So just notice what happens for you in between our sessions, where there's a possibility that your understanding of yourself and your message and your brand and your delivery and your communication just has maybe a different energy
Okay.
in it. It could possibly, from, you might notice, because we brought up the pusher, you know, you might notice the difference, how, because you know how the pusher feels. So let's just notice how this energy feels for you as you go forward.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. That, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see how that is totally relevant.
Mm.
Yeah. I think as well there's some boundary stuff that comes in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming up. Yeah. And how those boundaries are formed from a pusher or a flow state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I will look forward to your feedback in between the sessions, and any questions, just, you know, I'm there for you no matter what. So yeah, so thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
And I'll see you soon.
See you soon, lovely.
Bye.
Bye.